No doubt.
JC Latham sitting down with us here at the table, here from Titans House in Germantown. Will Bowling, Ramon Foster, pleased to be joined by starting right tackle for your Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, JC,
Titans and Broncos on Sunday afternoon. What's going on? How are you?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here.
Are you? How happy are you? It's game week. Does it feel good to get through camp and get to a different mindset this week?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, camp was it was very interesting this year. It was a lot of back and forth with the offense and defense, and then you heard about the 10-day trip with the 2 joint practices against the Buccaneers and the Falcons. So being able to go compete against somebody else, and now it's live, so it's going towards something a lot bigger than what it was before. So it makes it a lot more exciting having more on the line. What
do you think this team got out of that 10-day trip?
I mean, honestly, everything that we set out before. I mean, in OTAs, when OTA started, honestly, when the season ended January 6th, 5th for us, but 6th when we had our meetings, he told us we were going to establish a new culture here and a new identity for ourselves, but also just look to improve on every area that we needed to improve on, whether I was getting new players. Thank you.
Got you a better chair now. There we go.
Whether I was getting new players or whatever we had to do in the building. And then once, OTA started and conveniently right around the draft, that was the standard to say, hey, we need to establish our culture now. And, we divided up into teams, and, we were rewarded for whether we were hanging out together or executing plays during OTAs, whatever it might have been. And we amplified that to, competitive nature and training camp, to wins and losses, one-on-ones or team goals or whatever it might be. So, when we went on that 10-day trip, it was kind of just to solidify everything that we've been working for. And, we went 1-1. Obviously would have liked to go 2-0, but, we learned from both our wins and our losses. And, we track everything, from the penalties to the drop balls to the sacks to, the blown assignments or, the negative plays or explosive plays, whatever it might be. And you see the glaring differences of the first game that resulted in a loss and the second game that resulted in a win. And we know the standard that we have to play to win games in the NFL. So seeing that standard on the field, but also the culture and our identity off the field as well, that can continue to improve on that chemistry was really important for us.
JC Latham here with us this morning. JC, when you look at what last year was for you, I don't think people understand going from a season that you played in college to training to if you play in a Senior Bowl type of situation, the combine, the visits. You don't really have any time to breathe at all. What was that experience like for you? And also you switched positions going from right to left. How would you summarize what your rookie year was, man, looking back at it right now?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was insane. You really didn't feel the amount of things that you had to go through until that last game ended, and coach was like, we had our meetings and stuff like that on the 6th, and he was like, all right, I'll see you April 22nd. And that was my first time in my life where I was just like, oh shoot, I don't have no obligation, no class. Right. Obviously you're gonna get your workouts in and stuff like that, but that's it. So it's for me, especially then, that gave me time to really hone in on my nutrition, hone in on my skills. But it was I can get up at 8 o'clock in the morning and work out at 9 or 10, be done by 12, and that's the day. So just having that opportunity. But yeah, it was a long year, and obviously every rookie kind of has to go through that adjustment phase. And I feel like I went through it pretty well up until the end. Obviously, I wish I would have finished better, but just to have that chance in that offseason to really capitalize on everything you wanted to do, was really important to me.
We never make an excuse, especially playing on the offensive line. Because you came in with a lot. You come into the organization expecting you to play well up front, top 10 pick. Would you say the rookie wall is real? I don't think anybody's ever just really asked. Would you say it's real, though? Especially as much as you played. Playing in the spot position is different. Like you wide receiver or running back, maybe not as much. It's an every play thing for you, over 1,000 snaps last year.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't want to say it is. I kind of feel like last year, I wasn't tired. I wasn't maybe it's because playing in Alabama, you're going to play all the way through until, January. So now obviously here the playoffs are a lot longer, extending all the way to February. But, for us, that slate of practices and everything that we did, it didn't feel it didn't feel like I hit a wall, more say, just to honestly, like, it was just kind of crazy for me to get to, like, Thanksgiving and be like, we're doing this 8 more weeks. So it's like, that was just kind of a crazy moment. But, I mean, if you love to play ball, you know, you're fired up because if you have a couple great games or a bad game or a bad play, whatever it might be, there's just so much ball left. And I remember after we beat the Texans, even though I had a bad game that game, I was thinking that not only did I have, I think, 7 more games to go after that, but also having the ability to, you know, we had a chance if we would have won out to be a potential playoff team. So, you know, despite all the things that can go wrong, you know, in college football, you lose a game or two and season's pretty much a wrap from there. You know, here it's like you can lose, like we lost a lot early, and if we would have won out after that Thanksgiving, we still could have had a chance to not only be above 500, but like I said, a playoff team. So it's just really exciting, put a lot on the line. So
when you view this offseason, you mentioned you had a little bit more time to breathe. What's your adjustments, expectation going into it? Because most coaches in the NFL will tell you what you did in year 1 won't excite me in year 2. How you feel going to this year, going to the right side? Your body has changed. Your mind and understanding of the league has changed. What's your expectations and what did you learn that you want to bring to this year?
Yeah, just the emphasis of every single play. Every play holds so much weight. It can change the momentum of, you know, a drive or even the game. So if you're, you know, not playing with that same intensity on every single play and, you know, the defensive guy brings it up a notch or whatever it might be, that could change everything. And, you know, a play can change a game can change a season, however it might be, depending on when that particular situation occurs. But, you know, I get excited and fired up because, you know, going into this year, like the weight was a concern and getting all of that off was great for me. Also just being able to move and redirect and play fast and physical, something that I look to improve on from year 1 to year 2. So, and then just being a guy that my teammates can depend on, being a good teammate, being a good player for the coaches, and just being a cornerstone for my team.
Titans right tackle J.C. Latham, our guest this morning on Ramon&Will, live from Titans House in Germantown. J.C., being on the road with you guys and being on the sideline for the radio crew, I've seen you coaching up a lot of your teammates, and specifically Brandon Crenshaw-Dixon in Tampa. Saw you going through hand placement and talking about things, and you're fired up after one of his big run blocks in that game. How important is it for you to be a leader for this offense and on this team and help mentor some of these rookies and young guys who are coming in?
Yeah, I think for the 2 main reasons why, like, it motivates me to keep doing it, and I won't say like I'm, you know, leader of the offense yet, whatever it might be, but from a little kid, especially when I was in school, like I always liked math, and you know, my teachers would tell me like, hey, you're not really mastering it yet until you can teach it to somebody else, you know. So being able to teach the skill to somebody else not only helps him get better, helps us get better, help us compete, but it ensures that I know what I'm talking about, and it ensures that, you know, what I'm doing and how I'm teaching it, I'm on top of my game, and I'm mentally locked in to where I can teach it to somebody else. So that's really important to me. And then also just to create an environment, you know, if someone out there, and I'm not saying he was struggling, but if someone out there has an immense amount of potential or whatever it might be, to make him better and keep him going, because iron sharpens iron. So eventually he'll be at the point where he's competing for a starting job, and that makes me want to go harder because, you know, my job's on the line, whatever it might be. So, you know, and that only makes the team better because now we're competing, and then another group of guys might see that and be like, hey, like, we'll love to compete like how they're competing. You know, a guy that doesn't get enough credit is John Ojukwu, OJ. You know, every single day we compete, and from spring, every day we run after practice. We always do, you know, hand activation things or whatever it might be, pass sets, and every day we're trying to sharpen each other. Every day we try to lead the drills and, you know, compete with one another, so it trickles down to the rest of the group, and, you know, it starts with the O-line, so it can trickle down to the team and everything else.
That running after practice, how's that been for you?
It's been tough. In college, I ran a lot, and everybody was kind of telling me, like, make sure you're being careful because you don't want to hurt yourself. Yeah. So, and I feel like that was one thing I did tire myself out with early on, because I would do a crazy amount of running because I was just so concerned about always staying in shape, but also, you know, just trying to maintain that weight as well. And going into this year, you know, being smarter about what the conditioning you do after practice, you know, like making sure you're getting good conditioning in, but you're not killing yourself, because it is a long season. It is a season that, you know, has a lot of different chapters within it. So if you early on, you know, take yourself out because you're doing too much, you know, not only are you hurting yourself, but you're hurting the team as well. You're the best thing that was told to me, one of the best things was the best ability is availability. So if you take yourself out, then you're not really doing too much good for anybody else.
We're joined by Titans right tackle J.C. Latham. J.C., you guys have a little bit of a youth movement, man. Yourself, Cam Ward, Elekai Maynor, Peter Skoronski's in that boat with you guys, man. What does it feel like to have the support of your head coaches and position coaches to say, it doesn't matter your age, lead. If you got it, show it.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome to have a coach that has a lot of faith in us, and early on, giving the keys to us to kind of just go out and be great and be successful. Some guys will feel like, oh, they're young, so they can't say anything, whatever. But he encourages us to not only be ourselves and be the leaders that we know we can be, but also, from a program like Alabama telling me, like, hey, bring that success and that mindset that you had there here and establish that here and establish that with your teammates. And, same with Cam Ward, well, he, kind of, I don't want to say brought Miami back, but kind of, reestablished that program last year, bring that here. And, Peter Skoronski and how he leads in his way, bringing that here as well. So, and then establishing it with us while we're young because, we're going to be here for a while. So being the cornerstone of the team to where any guy that comes in, whether it's trade or draft pick, or whatever it might be, that they know that this is our culture and we've established this. So.
Well, it's speaking of Cam, man, I know everybody asks y'all about Cam, but he's the quarterback. He's the franchise. I had my coach tell me it's the owner, then it's probably the quarterback, then the coaches. Cam is in that position. It can get tiring sometimes leading or trying to pull guys to the finish line. Cam joins you in that, man. What has it been like with watching him grow up, challenge guys, and be in a position to bring some more relevancy to this team?
Yeah, it's been really cool to see, especially early on. Everybody's seen the clips of him and Shedeur competing and practicing and everything that they do, and how he talks to him and he goes. And I remember the first time I saw it, I think it was before my junior year of college, to where they were working out. And Shedeur got some water, and Cam didn't, and he was like, "Oh, real dogs don't need water," and yada yada yada. And he was just basically saying, Shedeur was trying to say, "Oh, it's Colorado, the air is thin." He's like, "I'm in Miami, hottest place to be, and I don't need water." So, you know what I mean? Seeing that side of him, and then he comes here, and my mind or my thought process was like, "Okay, I wonder when that'll turn on," you know. And he was quiet for the first little bit, obviously leading when he needed to lead, but. What really brought the best out of him was Jeff. When he got here and he started talking, that's when you saw the different side of Cam start to awaken, the more vocal side of Cam and the more, I don't want to swear, but the more trash-talking side of Cam.
Well played.
I want Savvy Pro over here.
Yeah, so it was pretty interesting to see that. And, that happened in OTA, so now being in the full swing of things, where Cam has, an immense amount of confidence, and it's only going to grow with, real-life game reps. But, yeah, so it's been really exciting to see something
on the trash talk side of it for the quarterback, usually they kind of hold y'all back.
Yeah.
You might have to get to a point to where you tell Cam, shut up. You ain't got to block him. I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, have y'all had that conversation yet?
Yeah,
Like,
I don't really care what he says. If he pisses somebody off that I got to block, they got to deal with me. I'm not thinking I got to deal with them.
No doubt.
But, it's fun. I remember because I didn't practice these past few days, and we were on the phone. And he told me, he was like, "Man, when this game come, I'm gonna need you to crash out." And I'm like, "Cam, I'm not gonna crash out." He's like, "Well, I'm gonna crash out, and I need you to crash out with me." So it's like, having a guy like that is awesome to like, because he's letting all his energy out there. He's not hiding anything or sugarcoating anything. So you do good, bad, whatever it might be. You always got a guy like him in your corner to. Just pick everything up. So.
No doubt.
Titans tackle J.C. Latham, our guest. J.C., big challenge in Denver this upcoming weekend. What makes that defense so good to you?
Yeah, I mean, they're a group that plays with an immense amount of effort. All 11 hats to the ball. They look to stop the run, and then they have a great secondary. Defensive player of the year in Patrick Surtain. So, you stop the run, and now you got to try to pass it, and he's going to take away half the field. So. Now the coverage can kind of shift away, and you got one guy taking away half the field and the rest of the defense on the other side. So this is just a great defense. And then you got Allen, 99, up front, who's really good, Nick Benita, 0. So, they got a good front front four group of guys, good linebackers. So, I mean, from, top to bottom, just a very talented group, a very well-coached group, a group that's going to play their heart out every single play from the first play to the last. So, very exciting group, team to play against, especially for the opener. And I know they got a lot that they're looking to prove as well because, last year with the loss against the Bills, they're looking to kind of, play with a chip on their shoulder.
Titans tackle J.C. Latham. I got to ask you on the way out, how annoying have your teammates been about week 1 of college football and how it went for Alabama on Saturday? I'll let you go on the offensive. I won't put you in a tough spot. I'll let you call out your teammates for being annoying about it this week.
Yeah, I mean, they have got on my case, especially with the FSU quarterback. I can't even pronounce his name, but he did a great job, and, he said it like, Saban's not there no more, so, they don't have nobody protecting them, and, he walked the walk, and he, talked it after, so.
We made fun of him when he said it. We were surprised as you were.
I was with the 17-year-old. I'm like, yo, they're going to sledgehammer to an ant.
Right, so, I mean, but, hey, I mean, he said it, and he dropped his nuts, and, he went on and played, so. You got to respect that at the end of the day, but I think it's a new era in college football, especially with NIL, where back in the day, guys were, I don't want to say guys are softer now, but, back in the day, all the top guys wanted to go to Alabama to play with the top guys. And now it's like, if you get I want to say a lower school, but a school that maybe not as big as
Texas
Alabama.
Tech right now.
Whatever it might be.
Spending it.
Yeah, so and they're just able to get higher caliber players. So now the diversity of players are expanding to where it's more even playing field now, especially. So now you're really going to see and I think it's true what the Texas head coach said about not really seeing another undefeated national champion anymore, because now every team is going to have a group of really good players. It's not going to be, Alabama with 25 5-stars and the next school only has like 10. So, yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how things go out. I'm not worried about Alabama at all. I know, the kind of culture we have over there, battle-tested and being able to play through anything. But it'll be really interesting to see how everything goes. But, yeah, you definitely got a lot of flake for the week 1 loss.
I got one for you because you almost went into game planning a little bit, man. You mentioned Patrick Surtain and how he can shut down the side of the field. Just on a sense of mental growth for the game, because the physical part, everybody does that. We know how the game goes. But it's the mental part where you meet a 7-year vet and he's got you locked. Where is your game grown mentally as far as whether it's film, understanding of defenses? One thing I had to figure out was like corners, safety, shifting of the nickel slot and stuff like that. What has Coach Bill Callahan taught you and you've grown in like breaking guys down? Like you see feet. We had a tail on a dude one time, but he put his hands on his knees, they were passing. If they were up, they were running. Like where have you grown in that department?
Yeah, just recognizing, I don't want to give out the game plan.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying personally, was it something you picked up on? It's like, oh, I got him now.
Yeah, just recognizing the defenses, seeing, looking at like the safety tails. It's really the best defenses can disguise the safety is really good, but recognizing that, understanding fronts and understanding that at the end of the day, no matter who you are or what it is, you have to be defensive sound.
Show it.
So whether you're the worst defense in the league or the best defense in the league, you have to have each gap accounted for. So understanding that philosophy and how that's going to be, and the run or the pass, someone's going to have to account for that gap, and I like even just talking to guys like Jeff or hearing Jeff talk or talking to linebackers or safeties, like yesterday I got a chip on a pass play, and the edge went all the way inside, and Jeff was like, on this play you can't go inside because I got to bull rush the B gap, so if you go inside the edge is open. So understanding like just a whole bunch of things that go into playing defense, and understand that their assignment so you can play faster, because if you stop one guy on defense and everybody else does their job, you can make a big play. So just that's the big thing going from year 1 to year 2. And like I said, just having the conversations with the defense is like, hey, what's your tell? Like what are we doing that's giving this away? Or Cody Barton's a great example, calling out G-Trap with the alignments of everybody and the alignments of the O-line. He able to call it out, get into a position that makes it really hard for us to block him. And then just like I said, just doing a great job. Even Xavier Woods calling out gap scheme down at the inside the 3 when he's like, hey, you guys got 2 tight ends attached. If you guys want to run a tight end to a flat, I'll take that risk, but I'm blowing up this gap right here.
Wow.
Because I know it's
so
going to be doing. So, yeah, everybody's so smart and so, quick to adapt to what's coming on, what's going on. So that's having those conversations helped me play better and faster. So I know exactly what's coming.
No
Tell you
doubt.
what, you got a long playing year ahead of you, but career ahead of you, but you got a future doing this if you want it. 'Cause that's
Absolutely.
the way you're breaking down the game. It's impressive, man.
Man, offensive
Really good
linemen
stuff.
are the smartest
That's
dudes
true.
on the field.
I know that as well as anybody.
Seriously,
JC
what are we
Latham,
doing?
JC Latham, our guest this morning here on Ramon&Will. JC, thanks so much for taking the time.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me.
Appreciate you.
JC Latham with us. We'll wrap up the show on Ramon&Will.